lawsuit against the city of Los Angeles, and they're trying to fire us or anybody that hasn't disclosed their information. And that's going to make these staffing shortages even worse.
This is about saving humanity. This is about the right for humanity to breathe freely, embrace life, embrace their families. So we're like transcending now. I think this is our defining moment to fight against the tyranny of our time, like Martin Luther King did. He fought against the tyranny of his time. So now we have to fight against the tyranny of our time, but never let it happen again.
If you think your government is truly becoming tyrannical, then tomorrow can't just be another day. It cannot be just another work day.
I'm Jeremy Lafredo on assignment for Rebel News in downtown Los Angeles at the Defeat the Mandates rally, where thousands of Americans have gathered here to protest various federal and state vaccine mandates and express their general opposition to the new biomedical COVID regime. People traveled from all across the country to share their grievances with COVID health policies and how they've been personally affected. They denounced what they described as a new, more top-down, undemocratic form of governance that has crept up in the wake of COVID-19. At the rally, essential workers explained how coercive COVID vaccine mandate policies left them unemployed, unable to make money or feed their families. Earlier in the pandemic, these same workers had been heralded as heroes. Now, some of them are injured from the shot.
I was healthy, fit, vegan, dancer, saving people's lives, loving life. And I got the vaccine to go back to work on the front lines and help with COVID. And got Moderna on January 19th, 2021. 12 minutes after my shot, I was surrounded by medics and nurses. I was whisked away to the hospital via ambulance, being worked up for a month.
Angela King, an author and former congressional candidate, argued that COVID policies divide communities and families and unfairly remove vulnerable people from the workforce.
These mandates have been put in place and they're now being used to not only discriminate against people, but also being used to separate our families. And to think that just 2 years ago, the entire nation was in an uproar about family separation at the border. And now these mandates are saying, hey, you have to stay 6 feet away from your loved one, or hey, you can't go visit your loved ones in the hospital, or hey, you can't go visit your parents in a nursing home. So if we can fight for family separation at the border, then we can most certainly fight against family separation in our borders. When we talk about people who are leery and don't trust the government, and then you're saying, hey, you have to go get this vaccine, and then after you get that vaccine, you got to go get another one, and then you got to go get another booster and another booster. They're saying, hey, wait a minute, enough is enough, and they're standing up, but they're losing their jobs. They're getting kicked out of school. They're being separated from their families. So how does this build up a nation? This definitely tears a nation apart and tears a nation down.
A contingent of the U.S. truckers convoy was also present at the protest. The truckers aim to take their convoy to Sacramento later this week as the California state legislature votes on the most authoritarian and far-reaching medical mandate bills the country has ever seen. This trucker argued that the mainstream media is engaging in a conspiracy by failing to tell the American people the laws California politicians are attempting to pass.
There are millions of Californians this morning that have no idea what is getting ready to be passed right here or just north of us here. We have to bring awareness to this. The government is doing what they want to do, and the media is not telling us what they're doing.
Journalist Kim Iverson explained to me that the COVID mandate policy specifically aimed at children is what turned thousands of previously pro-vaccine and pro-mandate parents against the COVID cult and towards the anti-mandate rally in Los Angeles.
With Los Angeles and California really going after the kids, I think that is really sparking something different in people that were very pro everybody get the vaccine. Originally, they were talking about adults. And then once they started saying, well, the kids, and now we're going to mandate it for school children, whether you go to private school or public school, I think that really has changed a lot of people into saying, wait a minute, I'm not for the mandates.
Journalist Max Blumenthal argued that the entire COVID agenda has been a war against the working class. Blumenthal called for justice and accountability.
This was a war on the people of America for the past 2 years, and particularly on the working class. And Julian Assange said that if all wars are started with lies, peace can only come with truth. And truth can only come with justice, which means accountability for the people who did this to us, and the end of these mandates. And then these rallies will stop. And then the truckers will stop going from coast to coast and showing up at the literal doorstep of state legislatures, because as California goes, the rest of the nation goes. So that's why it's so important to be out here.
I see this as contiguous with every human rights movement that's ever been. I don't know why, I've believed in my body, my choice since I was 15 years old. The ACLU should be here. The Amnesty should be here. The heads of the women's rights organizations should be here. I mean, this is just about, I see it as a free citizens movement, because our basic human rights, as many speakers pointed out, are being violated and stripped away, just happens to be under the guise of medical tyranny.
Due to YouTube's community guidelines, we can't post the video here, but if you follow the link in the description, it'll take you to a site that isn't censoring world-renowned doctors.